All right, everyone, we should be live. Let's make sure that's actually the case over on Rumble, of course. I will play it and then pause it. You may hear some work noises in the background. The bathroom floor is being redone. But we do have news to talk about. Of course, big in the news tomorrow is the presidential debate. I will presumptively be live streaming during the debate. I'm going to have to live react to it. That might be a little bit distracting, by the way. So we're a little bit scatterbrained at the moment, potentially. But I will probably be live reacting to the debate. This seems like a good idea. We're probably only going to get one. The Fox News debate was bounced, and we're not sure if there's going to be any future presidential debate. Usually there's at least two. Normally there's three, but we're probably only getting one, unfortunately. I guess the Biden one is assumed to count, but we'll get right into the news. We've got the Russians mocking U.S. election allegations as Putin teasingly says he supports Harris. This is, by the way, a tease, admittedly. Trump warms up for debate by threatening to jail election officials. Lichtman's 13 keys predict Trump, not Harris. I tend to agree with this. He's misreading his own system, his own schema, for some odd reason. I don't exactly know why. I think it's TDS related, probably. Bernie Sanders has weighed in. He's saying Kamala Harris is not abandoning her progressive ideals. She's trying to be pragmatic in order to win the election. In other words, she's lying to people, by the way. Elton John was chuckling about Donald Trump calling Kim Jong-un Little Rocket Man or something like that. And then Liz Cheney talking about pontificating about Ronald Reagan. So, yeah, we've got a lot to unpack today. Yeah, please do send super chats. Yeah. First, I got to get a bit of a drink. That's what I'm talking about. There's no reason to pretend that I don't occasionally imbibe a glass of wine. Oh, yeah. I've got to call him later. I've got a dude who can hook me up with cheap hay in order to make the garden paths. So next year's garden is probably going to be a little bit more lit than this one. I know I haven't made as many garden videos lately. It's the garden is a little bit messed up. It needs to be cleaned out. There are too many weeds. There was too much witchgrass because it went fallow for 5 years. So, you got to compensate or get finance. My brother changed his tune. Now he believes that Trump will win and Harris will throw out the results on certification, resulting in a contested election and crown herself as president. Your thoughts? That would never go over well. That will not happen. She will probably be, nambied on her way. Bo Cephas, the Haitians in Ohio need biltong, not pets for snack. Interesting. Yeah, I saw that story. I'll probably be covering it tomorrow. BW, you are sick and brainwashed when you would rather be wrong than out of step with your party. Yeah, that's why I don't like party politics. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I'm also not a libertarian, not in the large L sense. I find it unhelpful. You have to be ideologically pure. You can't simply go along with whatever the party says and say, well, we got to win at all costs. I don't believe in that. Vote blue no matter who. Doesn't jive with me. Anyways, let's get right into the news. Russians mock U.S. election allegations as Putin teasingly says he supports Harris. Now, here's the backstory here. Putin is quite clearly trolling. I think that he does genuinely support Harris, though. If Russia wants to be adversarial to the United States, it makes sense to have a weak regime. So you have like a Biden or a Harris or somebody like that. I think that part is genuine. But at the same time, it's also propaganda now, isn't it? Putin is quite clearly trolling, actually, at the moment. Kamala Harris is unintelligent enough that she probably doesn't realize she's even being trolled because she's Kamala Harris. It's a no-brainer. Putin, I think, I think that he would prefer a Harris regime. I think that he's actually telling the truth, because if the United States has Trump once allegedly, he threatened to, bomb Moscow. Well, clearly you don't want to have to parlay with somebody like that. You would rather have somebody who's weak on foreign policy. Kamala Harris can't even manage the goddamn U.S. border. It's a no-brainer as to why Putin would genuinely want her to be, the president of the United States. She'd basically be a less likable version of Joe Biden more than anything else. Well, that's predictable. Trump is unpredictable. He can be a little bit of a loose cannon, and so conducting diplomacy with him, you have to be a little bit more wary. Whereas with Kamala Harris, it's just going to be the same old bullshit from DC that you've seen before, under Biden, under Clinton, under anyone like that, under Bush, Republican or Democrat. Of course, he would prefer to have Kamala Harris as president. The funny thing is, this is reverse psychology. Some people are saying, well, this is a sign that he actually wants Trump to win, because Americans are all up in arms about Putin, and so he effectively endorses Kamala, and the hope is to throw votes to Donald Trump. No, it's reverse psychology. As in, he does not want Trump in there. He wants you to think that, and that's what he's going with. It'll probably work on the average voter, by the way. People often don't understand what the fuck is going on. Gotta know Ken. Happy birthday, Sega Dreamcast. 9999. 25 years. Who lover? Hi, Sticks. Today is my 21st birthday. What should I do to celebrate? Clank. Get wasted. I'm just joking about that. No, what you should do is take a day off. Trust me, when you get older, when you're in your mid-30s, that's the best thing you can get for your birthday. Hey, I get to lay down and do absolutely nothing. The great Scalzini, Kamala, Dick and Liz Cheney endorsed me. Take that, Trump tards. Me. I don't think that's a win worth celebrating. Yeah, no, I know. When Dick Cheney is endorsing you, maybe it's your problem. Mike P. Just an FYI, Sticks concealed carry now legal in Louisiana. Bring your gun when you come this way. Yeah, baby. I love guns. Adam the Spaghetti Fanatic. Any thoughts on the Russian drone that hit Latvia? I didn't actually see that story. Maybe you can DM me on Twitter. I can get to it tomorrow. Majestic126. I love you and the Quartering hosting together. Two of my favorite YouTubers. He seems like a cool dude to get a beer with. Keep being amazing. Yeah, but we got to force feed him vegetables. We're literally going to have to feed him the salad. Like, yeah, come on, open up. I like the dude, but his anti-vegetable habits, I just don't understand. Huns with guns. It'd be funny Trump gets the I'm speaking moment on her. It could happen, by the way. Yeah, anything can and does happen at presidential debates. It'll be funny. Last Beacon. Hi, Sticks. Ping us. In all honesty, I view Kamala Harris as Sarah Palin as an anti-gun Democrat. She's not as rhetorically talented as Sarah Palin, though. BW, of course he prefers Kamala. He likes her negotiating strategy, knee pad style. I don't think that Vladimir Putin would be into that. I don't think that any of us would either. Last Beacon. Speaking of ping us, I'm messing around with Poly.ai, and I made a personal health. Excuse me, I'm hiccuping. Personal health fan fiction of YouTube poops. Nesquick, should House and Senate reps lock down the government over passing the SAVE Act with the next spending bill? Obviously, a government shutdown is good, but would it help them politically? Maybe. It remains to be seen. You're asking the Republicans to do something sensible. Again, shit in one hand, wish into the other. Last Beacon. Now on to the Sarah Palin part. Does anyone realize there's some kind of similarity between Joe Biden and Kamala Harris and John McCain and Sarah Palin? Yeah, to an extent, I would definitely agree with you. Speaking of guns, would you see yourself getting an anti-material rifle in the 20 millimeter range? Maybe. I don't know. I prefer revolvers more than anything else. Dash Rip Rock sent $4.99. No comment, thank you. And Joe Schmo says, Sticks, congrats on the almost 10K videos. Could you speak the mythos of Trump and what his re-election could mean for the future of the American story? Yeah, I could cover that. That sounds good. Also, if I seem a little bit out of it, I overslept today. So sometimes I undersleep, like I get fucking 2 hours of sleep. And other times I get fucking 10 hours of sleep. There's no medium ground. It's this is the tale of the insomniac, so it's a big problem. Trump warms up for debate by threatening to jail election officials. This is analysis by Stephen Collinson of CNN. Here's the problem. That's not exactly what he's talking about. Talked about it this morning. Trump is threatening to imprison people who have broken the law. Normally this would be considered, normal for a president of the United States. Hey, I'm going to push for the prosecution of this person who murdered someone, who raped someone, who did something terrible. That's generally seen as normal. It's not seen as authoritarian. I don't see it as authoritarian either, simply pushing for someone who's done terrible things to be put in prison. Unfortunately, though, there is Trump derangement syndrome. And so because of TDS, if Donald Trump says, hey, I want to hold election officials accountable for shenanigans in an election, whether it be 2020 or possibly even 2024, then all of a sudden he's a dictator. He's capable of unilaterally exacting his actions on the populace. And of course, he's coming for you and your kids. I've seen basically propaganda to that effect. Now, this is not actually true. What Donald Trump is saying is, hey, there are people that we have questions about, and we want to be able to question them because the election was a little bit on the screwy side. This makes sense, by the way. In fact, he would be derelict in his duty if he did not do so as commander-in-chief. Supposedly, though, this makes him a dictator, and so the legacy media is running with that. Slick Rick, I don't have haters. I have government-generated bots sent to break my confidence in spirit. That will never work. Yes, indeed, there are plenty of glowing ones out there. There are so many people that glow in the dark, you wouldn't believe it. You should see some of the messages that I've gotten throughout time. And it ain't just lately. I was a small-time content creator, and I was already getting people that glowed and clearly glue in the dark, trying to contact me. Why don't you join our anti-government group? We can supply you with pipe bombs. This actually happened to me. Last Beacon, that's my personal dream gun, at least to an extent. A revolver would be a 500 Bushwhacker. Look that up. My dream revolver is that 5-shot 22 Magnum. It's not the heaviest caliber you can work with, but it looks really cool, and it would be kind of fun. I kind of prefer the regular 22, the HR Sportsman, though. 22 cal, I mean, it's cheap as fuck. And Chambers 9, so that's a little bit of an advantage. The Sumerian Sticks, watch the XXX movie, Nailin' Palin. It's great. She looks just like Sarah Palin. No thanks, yeah. I'm not interested in nailing Palin. Now, if it was Anna Luna, of course, that might be a different story. Luna, like the moon. Very feminine last name, by the way. Anna Paulina Luna. We clank to her. She is the official clank member of Congress. Her and Matt Gaetz, I suppose. Sticks, get a Raging Hornet 6-shot 22. That sounds fun. Let's shout out just a sec. God. Just a sec. My tags got a little fucked up. Again, you've got to understand, tomorrow I've got a live stream at like 9 p.m. I'm a little bit sleep deprived at the moment, so I'm going to try to get to everything, but I'm doing the best that I bloody can. We've got sponsors to shout out. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills. That's what I'm talking about. I took my mushroom pills this morning. That's pretty much the only thing that's keeping me going at the moment, actually. We've got pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get keychains, belt chains, engraved spoons, glassware, bookmarks, and much more, of course. BiltongUSA.com. Yes, Anton can hook you up with the sweet meat. Swallow Anton's meat. That's what I'm talking about. You can also get Stick, Sex, and Hammer mugs, tumblers, and shirts there as well. WickedNeedleEmbroidery.BigCartel.com, where you can get Stick, Sex, and Hammer hats. I wish that I had one on hand, but again, as before, sometimes I forget to bring the hats into the room. My apologies. HeritageHeirloomSeedCompany.com, where you can get a seed survival bucket. By the way, those Turks turbans are actually fucking delicious. I'll probably grow them again. I've got some seeds that are actually curing now. You can also get Stick, Sex, and Hammer soap there as well. There's a new variety that will be available soon. In the meantime, just get whatever you want because it all smells great in the end anyway. Webster'sWares.com/sticks-wares, where you can get all sorts of Sticks merchandise and miscellanea. They've also got Trump merchandise available. We've got some knives available. Let me show you one. Yeah, this is awfully sharp, so be careful if you get one of the knives from Webster's Wares. Also get some of those steel straws so that you can save a sea turtle. Again, I intend to eat sea turtle fairly soon. And then finally, jamandbean.com. That is JAMNbean.com, where you can get Costa Rica blend, various teas, other coffees are available. And pretty soon there will be a proprietary Sticks, Hex, and Hammer blend as well. It is really good, let me tell you. Here's some, I believe that is a vacuum cleaner. Eric Heffelfinger, Luna gets a rise in my poll. Yeah, no, I mean, she's a peach. Patrick Foley, suggestion to the newly minted 21-year-old, spend all your money at the gay bar. Gay bar, yeah. I get the reference. I'm gonna take you to the gay bar. That was a meme way back in the day. Still actually a good song, by the way. Last Beacon, that's my personal dream gun, at least to an extent. A revolver. Oh, I already read that one out. You're trying to get an extra. I know your tricks. I know your tricks, Last Beacon. You can't fool me. Dash Riprock, did you shoot the AR-15 yet? I will neither confirm nor deny this. Lichtman's 13 keys predict Trump, not Harris. Alan Lichtman is a little bit weird as far as political predictions go. He's got a system called the 13 keys to the White House, and the idea is that for each answer, it's either true or false. And then you go by that and you determine who's more likely to win the presidency. Now, he's been wrong a couple of times, and he has a very sporadic track record with regards to congressional elections, although he keeps getting consulted, just like Nate Silver, who is currently predicting that Trump will possibly win. Here are the 13 keys. Let me go through these. This is, by the way, this is from Sasha Stone, who I like and I follow. Midterm gains. Republicans hold power even if just barely. False. No primary contest. True. Incumbent seeking re-election. False. Although technically speaking, Trump is a former president and Kamala is the current vice president. So that one I hold up in the air. I think it's a 50-50 on that one. No third party. False. While it's true that RFK Jr. has dropped out of the race and thrown his support in with Trump, he is still on the ballot in many states. Strong short-term economy. Leans true. While we're not officially in a recession, things are not exactly going great, but let's give them this one. I actually agree with that. Short term, the economy is not going well, but at the same time, the bottom hasn't dropped out, at least yet. Strong long-term economy. False. If Trump wins, maybe. No one believes the Democrats can bring the economy back. They had 4 years, they failed. Major policy change. We can say the Inflation Reduction Act counts. I'll give them this one as well. That's Sasha Stone says that's true. I tend to believe in that as well. It's not necessarily a nonpartisan issue, but it is a major domestic policy change. It's just not a good one. No social unrest. False. That's fairly obvious. No scandal. False. Lichtman might be thinking of Monica Lewinsky, but a cognitively impaired president who refuses to leave office and a vice president who lies for him to the public counts as a scandal. I would say that there are other scandals as well, but we'll just take that one. That's fine. No foreign military failure. I mean foreign policy failure. False. The Afghanistan withdrawal. Major foreign military success. False. She's fundamentally correct. I can't name one either. There has been none. Charismatic incumbent. True. She is charismatic. No, I wouldn't call Kamala Harris charismatic. Actually, you're giving her one more key than I would give her, and clearly you're not sympathetic. Uncharismatic challenger. False. Lichtman pretends that likability equals charisma. It doesn't. Yeah, Trump has, overall, he has 9 keys. I disagree slightly with what Sasha Stone is saying, but not that much. Overall, she's pretty correct in her summation. And I find it hilarious, by the way. Alan Lichtman is effectively rigging his own game against himself at the moment. David Hunter, I think Lichtman decreed it under duress. Yeah, they probably paid him money or something. Apache, for me, it's Tulsi. That silver streak in her hair is great. Also, it seems like celebs are becoming more pro-Trump. The Rock even said something nice. Yeah, I know. Tulsi Gabbard is conventionally attractive. Would I? I will neither confirm nor deny. But with Anna Luna, that would work. She's definitely the most attractive member of Congress. Tulsi Gabbard is attractive, but she ain't as attractive as Luna. This is Mike. Clank, motherfuckers. Did you enjoy Mel Brooks' Robin Hood Men in Tights? I have actually never seen it. Everyone talks about the movie, and I believe it was produced by the dude that tried to Me Too Michael Jackson, if I remember correctly. Can't remember his name. Wasn't it the one that also did choreography for Britney Spears? I'm pretty sure he was the producer of that movie, so maybe I have a reason not to watch it. Last beacon. Speaking of biltong or spicy biltong, what level of spice do you like? I hear it. I like it super spicy. When it makes me sweat and it makes me go to the bathroom. Depends on what I'm eating. Some things need to be spicier than others. Like with chili, give it a 3 out of 10. You don't want to overpower it. But if you're having like hot wings or something like that, then you need to, spice it up really good. Liz's large bowl. Oh, you're back. Sticks has been wearing the same clothes for a week and wonders why his wife cucked him. Take a shower, freak. Your stench is making my monitor stink. Stormy Daniels, money. Deranged Jack Smith, China. All right. I'm glad that you're back, my dude. Joseph Banks. Wouldn't be surprised if there's tech difficulties at the debate. So insane, Trump's like, I'm out of here. Then all of a sudden tech works and it becomes a Kamala softball interview and Trump's scared crap. The Dashing Rogue. Luna or Liz, what's a bird man's preference? Well, I mean, obviously, do you mean Elizabeth Warren or do you mean my wife? Because obviously you would prefer your own wife. But yeah, if you mean Elizabeth Warren, then it would be Anna Luna. Absolutely. I love the trolls on the channel. By the way, to all of my subscribers out there, if there is somebody trolling, Yeah, don't worry about it too much. Number one, I can handle it. And number two, actually, I find it fucking hilarious. And if they're paying me, I mean, if you give me a couple bucks, you can say whatever the fuck you want, long as it won't get me banned. Bernie Sanders. Kamala Harris is not abandoning her progressive ideals. She's trying to be pragmatic in order to win the election. Oh, very interesting. And this is, of course, the senator from my home state. He's not originally from Vermont. He's originally from New York. He's a Brooklynite. He was raised down there. And he came to Vermont because he wanted a better life. He came over with, the other so-called hippies and then never got a job, basically. He became, I think, a professor at one point. He did carpentry, but he got fired. And then he became mayor of Burlington, and the rest was history. Then he went into the House of Representatives and then became a senator. Bernie Sanders is a sellout. He's basically a tanky more than anything else. It's funny. I mean, he took his fucking honeymoon back in the early 80s, I think it was, or late 70s. He took it in the Soviet Union. There was probably a reason for that. When somebody tells you who they are, you should probably believe them. Oh, I agree with the Soviet Union, and I agree with socialism. Okay, well, then, I'm going to assume that you're being honest with me. I got fruit flies trying to get into my drink. Good luck. She's got to be pragmatic in order to win the election. Now, this is why the Democrats win and the Republicans lose. Fundamentally, from a pragmatic perspective, he is correct. You should be pragmatic and you should move to the center, etc. But he's saying the quiet part out loud. The problem is you're not supposed to tell people that that's what you're doing. You're supposed to delude them. Bernie Sanders, a little bit too much on the honest side, I suppose, to pull that off. Let's see. 17 George, I'm waiting patiently for a troll to drop $100 once. Yeah, no, if they want to say something crazy, if they're paying me $100, then I have no problem with it. Yeah, I would say here's the order of attractiveness of female congresspeople. Anna Luna's definitely number one. Tulsi, I mean, she's, former congressperson. She'd be number two. And then Boebert, of course. AOC actually would be on the list, admittedly so. Hate her personality, and that's what makes her unattractive. But physically speaking, she's not unattractive. She's conventionally attractive. That's just the way that it works. Sometimes a person, there's an old Vermont saying, or saying in general, but what was it? Dimple on the outside, devil on the inside. That applies to people like AOC. You can be attractive, but be a goddamn she-devil. By the way, never stick your dick in Psycho. This is Mike. For me, there are two scales for attractiveness, looks and personality. Perfect score would be a 20. Tulsi ranks high on both for me. Yeah, I mean, she's fit, reasonably young by congressional standards, certainly. She likes surfing and pineapples and shit like that. She seems to have a fairly bubbly personality, actually, for someone who's been in the military. And she is attractive. Yeah, absolutely. But if I had to choose anyone in D.C. that I was going to date, it would be Anna Luna. And I think that I probably agree with 90% of males when I say that. Aaron Nelson, The Rock is just distancing himself from Oprah. He took a hit for the Hawaii connection. It made him look as disconnected as he really is. Maybe. Rottweiler AK, recommend Rock Island Armory revolvers. Great low price, reliable. Sounds good to me. Yeah, I'm in the mood to buy another revolver. I want another revolver, preferably 22 Magnum. And I want a tactical pistol, just for show. That's, the first show weapon. And then I want to get a shotgun, 20 gauge, actually. My grandfather, my actual grandfather, apparently left behind a shit ton of ammo for 20 gauge. And so, you got to use it eventually. Go birding. Not with Dick Cheney, though. Oh, shit. We'll be talking about the Cheneys later. Life is driving. Styx talks Luna. Vacuum suddenly interrupts and stream buffering. Liz for the win. James Maggs, is it me or does Kamala have a dead glassy look in her eyes? Yes, she does. Look at the photos of her standing next to Joe. Despite being senile, he seems full of life compared to her. I find it a bit disturbing. Yeah, it's like, you know that scene in Jaws where, the captain who's been in World War II is talking about the eyes of sharks, how they like roll over and they're all glazed, dark eyes, like doll's eyes. When Quint, that reminds me of Kamala, actually, in a very disturbing way. I agree with you completely. Mr. Baker, how are your cats doing, Styx? We haven't seen them in a while. The cats that are here don't really come into the office. I have to close it up because, there's background noise and stuff like that. But they're doing perfectly fine. Quincy was sacked out on the bed earlier. He was napping. Then Athena was sacked out on the bed napping. This happens on a regular basis. I get be-kittied all the time. SC Woods, clank. I can't argue with your rating of female Congress critters. And last speaking of clothes, I like the red and black shirt. I like the red and black and green color schemes. COVIDian Lockdowner's back. He's shitposting over on Rumble if you want to see something hilarious. Kamala won, Trump lost. The Siren. Monitor the governor's site ssa.gov. It shows weekly voter registrations coming in each state. Example, Missouri, February 17th, 78,421 no ID registrations came in. 23,253 came back dead. Why did 23K dead people register in one day? Probably due to shenanigans. But I mean, in Missouri, it's not going to matter. That will go for Trump. The Dashing Rogue. So once you're done with New Orleans, let me know when you're back. I got dirt on the Russians and Tenet Media. Lauren Chen is in bed with her boss. Goodness. Well, isn't her boss her husband anyway? So it doesn't really matter. She's allowed to be in bed with him. We've got to talk about Elton John, by the way. Elton John is an interesting character, like that time he got detained in an airport for having lewd pictures of a minor nature, so to speak. Elton John says Trump's Rocket Man nickname for Kim Jong-un was brilliant. Donald has always been a fan of mine. Elton John recently expressed his amusement over the moniker Little Rocket Man. And by the way, Elton John is left-wing, generally speaking. He's a liberal. So for him to praise Trump is actually funny. For U.S. President Donald Trump used for North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, the nickname was a nod to John's chart-topping song. What happened? During an interview with Variety at the Toronto Film Festival, John revealed his thoughts on Trump's nickname for Kim Jong-un. The singer found the moniker, inspired by his hit song, amusing. I laughed. I thought that was brilliant, John stated. The singer said, I just thought, good on you, Donald. Donald's always been a fan of mine, and he's been to my concerts many, many times. I do not know whether that's trolling or whether that's true, by the way. So, I've always been friendly toward him, and I thank him for his support. When he did that, I just thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh. Yeah, apparently Trump had to clarify the nickname to Kim Jong-un, who is not familiar with the Tiny Dancer singer. Trump even signed an Elton John CD as a president for the North Korean leader. That's according to this report. By the way, I do remember that. That is fact check. That is actually true. Yeah, apparently Donald Trump, when he was doing the diplomacy thing with North Korea, he actually sent an Elton John CD to Kim Jong-un. And I'm just thinking about like the look on Kim Jong-un's face when he opened it and he's like, what? That must have been fucking great. Talk about trolling, by the way. BW, did you see CNN saying Kamala did good on the 2020 VP debate? Pence had a fly land on his head and still made her look like a petulant child. Dems really think everyone is stupid. And then he said, ping us over. Then last weekend said, ping us over and over. Yeah, I did see that. They're trying to fluff over Kamala Harris. Oh, she's such a great debater. Did you see the one where it was like, oh, well, she really stands out in presidential debates. I think I talked about it yesterday or the day before. And I was thinking to myself, motherfuck, Tulsi Gabbard destroyed her. She was destroyed by Biden destroyed her. She can't debate her way out of a paper bag. What the fuck are you talking about? It didn't even make sense when I was reading. I was like, again, it's one of those moments where did I just have a stroke? Because I don't even know what I'm reading. Could have been worse. He could have given Kim a Limp Bizkit record. He probably would have liked it. That's the irony. We don't know what kind of music Kim Jong-un's into. I imagine he's more into just the pop scene more than anything. Despite the slicked back dictator look, I have a feeling he'd be more into like Madonna or Cyndi Lauper or something. Rottweiler AK, Rock Island AL22, 4-inch 22 Magnum, $609 new. That sounds like something down my alley. I'm going to have to look that up. Just a sec. Can I copy this out directly? See, YouTube doesn't allow you to do that, or at least StreamYard. Just a sec. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I'll have to look that up later. Thank you very much. Big Jim's American Dream. Sticks, can you sing Rocket Man in the Bernie Sanders voice, please? Oh, dear God. Rocket Man, burning out his fuse up here alone. That's as much as I can give you. Julian the Boss. Hey, Sticks, rarely catch you live. Glad to have the voice of reason and sanity to start off. I'm sorry. What was beginning as a rough clank on. The Siren. It's every state showing suspicious activity like that on different days. States that matter. Hundreds of thousands of no ID registrations in Texas alone. Worrisome. Texas will go red. Don't worry about that. Please stop ping-us-ing, Last Beacon. I appreciate your patronage, but you've got to calm down with the pingus. Holden Sneedmeyer, I appreciate the story of thermite and naval ships, but such vessels are outdated. Hypersonic missiles are the reason why we keep having to send replacement Patriot air defense systems to Ukraine. No, here's the problem. Let's say that you have a dozen drones, and you've got them coordinated so they fly in formation. And you've got nice big nanothermite charges on them. You could easily burn a ship into its own fucking footprint. It wouldn't even be difficult. And that's what I really worry about. What I worry about is the U.S. Navy is going to get attacked by a bunch of thermite drones. And indeed, the Ukrainians appear to have already developed the technology. So, the Sumerian, how about Nailing Harris? Ugh. Yeah, if you want, believe me. Huns with guns. Limp Bizkit is for base Sigma males. Apache, the Heritage Rough Rider, single action 22 for 100. Yeah, that sounds fun. Let's see. Last Beacon, I don't understand why you want a 22. It's the weakest round ever. It'll still kill somebody. That's more for small game hunting, though. You got to defend the garden. The unintended. Why did Trump's reply to North Korea about his big red button that works result in having diplomatic meetings with them and crossing into the DMZ? Clank. It's because of culture. And this is something that almost nobody understands. When you're dealing with a country in that part of the world, especially like North Korea, you have to do peace through strength. You have to, if somebody offers you insult them back twice as hard. They will respect you. Otherwise, don't offer insult. When Kim Jong-un came out and basically said, Trump's a pussy, more or less, he responded. And he responded exactly as you're supposed to respond. In the West, you don't do this. If somebody insults you, you don't insult them back. Otherwise, you just end up going your separate ways. That's not the way that it works in East Asia. People need to understand this. Trump has done business in Korea. He's done business in China. He's done business in Japan. He's done business in Russia, etc., etc. He understands this. This is something that will completely escape Biden for the rest of his life. Kamala doesn't understand it, etc. If you go to East Asia and somebody is being kind to you, then you be kind to them. If they offer you insult, you offer them insult in turn. That's the way that it works. It's not the same as the Western world. That's why he was successful and why Joe Biden has been a miserable failure on foreign policy. Sigil Stone sticks, gun to your head, and you're not allowed to die until you fuck Hillary or get sucked off by Kamala. How are you going out? I would fuck Hillary Clinton, and not even joking about that. I'd rather fuck Hillary Clinton than get sucked off by Kamala. Can you imagine the diseases you get? Like at least Hillary Clinton is reasonably presentable sometimes. King of Biltong, good morning from Anton's. Biltong is one of the most protein-dense foods in the world and packed with B12, zinc, iron, creatine, and more. Need a healthy snack? Get yours at BiltongUSA.com. Sticks 10 for 10% off. By the way, you should definitely eat it. SC Woods, you greatly underestimate the firefighting capabilities of a modern warship surrounded by unlimited quantities of water. They can put so much water on fire as to threaten the stability of the ship. Yes, but a sneak attack would be a little bit different. That's my worry is that you get like an aircraft carrier, right? You have a bunch of drones. They're in formation. They're all coordinated together, and they've got thermite charges. And they fly over under the radar onto the ship. They go down on the deck. Then they detonate. And by the time you get firefighting going, you've already got a bunch of holes in your hull. That's my worry. It will happen, by the way. There's going to be a major naval disaster in the next 10 years, and it'll probably lead to a major regional war. Quafanon, how much play do you see in the election with those hacked and leaked social security numbers? I don't know. That one is beyond me. The Dashing Rogue, buy quality gun sticks. Credo is buy once, cry once. Just Revenant, Mamala Harris. Holden Sneedmeyer. I'm aware of the footage of the Ukrainian thermite drone because it has been floating around for a week. Russians have also have a wired guided drones immune to jamming to remove said jammers. That's concerning as well. Yeah, I know. You can get like an anti-drone gun, bzz, and then you sort of scramble its ability to communicate, and it just comes down to the ground. Sigil, I got to agree about Hillary. Power is sexy. Excuse me, sexy on its own. There's nothing sexy about Hillary Clinton. God, I've still got the hiccups. But gun to head, you have to choose. Yeah, it'd be Hillary over Kamala. God damn it. SC Woods, do you know that 1/3 of the crew is awake 24/7? Yeah, goodness. Sigil, naval ships have water shields. They can cover themselves in shitloads of water immediately in case of chemical or nuclear attack. That won't work against thermite. That's the whole problem. By the way, please send no more super chats because I've got the hiccups now. I don't even know if I'm going to get to the last news story. I'm holding my breath. But they're terrified of other people, so they're all in the basement. Yeah, today's a little bit of a weird day. That should work. BW, this gives the idea of you doing that with Kamala gives me the same reaction that Brian had in Family Guy when he found out he had sex with Quagmire's dad who had a sex change. Never saw that one. Let's go Javier Perez Herrera. Hello, Sticks. I've been following you for years now. I lean conservative now and support Trump, but I'm also a DACA recipient thanks to my parent bringing me in as a kid illegally. I still want the best for the U.S., though. That's perfectly reconcilable, though. It's perfectly fine to be a DACA recipient. I mean, if you're not breaking any other laws or anything else, you came in as a minor, then that's perfectly fine. Good that you support Trump. Good on you. Steve D. Martin, I just purchased Cimarron Thunderer stainless 45 long Colt revolver, stainless silver, leaves a hole the size of a quarter. Felt like I was a gunslinger. Yeah, some of those pistols, they do a really great job. I may or may not have one on me right now. The Siren. As someone who was in Ukraine war and family in SBU, intel still in there, the reason UA took an area of Russia is to use that land as trade power to get the other areas back and destroyed Army refuel depot there. Yeah, no, I know that. Yeah, they're trying to parlay, basically. And it makes sense. I mean, all's fair in love and war. Or at least in war, I suppose. BW, Brian puked for 5 minutes straight. Interesting. Yeah, I'm going to check those Rock Island Armory guns out later. And now Liz Cheney is saying absolutely no chance Reagan would support Trump. And I'm thinking to myself, you mean the dude that was literally friends with Ronald Reagan, or the dude that basically copied Ronald Reagan's policies, or the dude that recycled Ronald Reagan's slogans? I have a feeling that Ronald Reagan would approve of Donald Trump. I don't think he would approve of the Cheneys, though. I mean, Liz Cheney's dad is, insane and shot somebody at one point. That wasn't fun. Liz Cheney got completely ass blasted out of Congress by, if I remember correctly, the third largest margin in all of U.S. congressional history. If I remember correctly, it was the third largest loss in all of congressional history. I think that Ronald Reagan would prefer Donald Trump. You don't have to think that he's perfect, and I don't. You don't have to like all of his policies, and I don't. But is he better than the alternative? Number one, yes. And would Ronald Reagan generally have countenanced him as though we're still worshiping at the altar of Ronald Reagan? Number two, yes, I think that he would. And I say this as someone who is, a lot of people, like, I'm not a conservative. A lot of people that are on the right wing, they worship Ronald Reagan, right? They think of him as like the golden age president. Oh my God, as a big hunk, and he championed all these wonderful policies. I give Reagan generally good marks, especially in his first term. He did a good job in his first term. Second term was a little bit more dicey, but I mean, by God, if you compare him to Kamala Harris, the Joe Biden administration, there's no similarity at all, not even close. Sigil Stone, Dick Cheney shot a lawyer in the face. Give the devil his due, fucking based. Yeah, okay. But still, he shot a person. I mean, it was accidental, presumptively. Other than that, maybe he was trying to blow the dude's head off. Maybe he just had poor aim. I'd like to see Trump go sport shooting. That'd be funny. I wonder, because I don't really think that he really has much experience with firearms, but it'd be funny to see him shoot. Why don't we solve all our political problems that way? We'll just have the politicians have a shooting contest. Best out of 10 or something like that. Guaranteed be better than Kamala Harris. Kamala couldn't figure out how to load the gun. Politics is so funny right now that it's very, very easy to make these live streams. I gotta say, I'm in my element. The Cimmerian, Nailing Reagan. Oh God. Nancy Reagan's sex tape. Oh my, eat more of your Quaker Oats. Put those Quaker Oats in that hole. Rub up against me. I'll make extra friction. That's what I'm talking about. Nancy Reagan's ass. We can get weird on this channel. There are still some people, by the way, I've got to say, there are people that will expect me to be normal on my live streams. Like, number one, look at my username and the literature that I put out. Then look at the videos that I've made. And then look at my fucking bubbly personality. Yeah, okay. You expect me to be normal. It's gonna work out so well. I love being abnormal. I love the fact that I'm goddamn insane. That's like part of my brand, number one, and it's part of my personality too. Volpe has a good point. Yes, and this ties into the Kamala Harris campaign, actually. Clinton was successful because he effectively took Ronald Reagan's economic policies and sprinkled them with IDPOL and with welfare. What is Kamala doing? She's literally copying Trump's homework. Well, I'm in favor of a border wall. Well, I'm in favor of X, Y, and Z. There's like 8 or 9 times now already that she's copied Trump's homework. That's because she knows that it's a winning strategy. Now, will she follow through with it if elected? No, absolutely not. 0% chance. In general, it depends on the policy. She'd probably go further to the left. But that's exactly what she's doing. She's pulling a Clinton. Volpe, you are completely right. Thank you very much. Holden Sneedmeyer. They were specifically going after the nuclear power plant in Kursk and failed. But given they like to shell power plants, it's not a shock. Have a good one, Taro. Yeah, I hope that they don't successfully shell a nuclear power plant. That would probably be bad. Durazno Kid. Trump carries a golden revolver. Good signing. I think that he can't actually do that because, technically speaking, he is a convicted felon. And I think they were trying to get him in trouble for that. But, yeah, of course, it's not going to happen. Senor Faces. Make candidates to do presidential fitness test. I would stick with just have 3 debates. Mandatory debates. General debate, foreign policy, and a town hall. That's all I want. I just want to see the candidates in their own words. That's all I ask for. BW, do you think it'll work for Cammie? Kamala will lose, I believe. Yeah, I think that she'll lose. I think that Trump will be reelected. I think it'll be roughly 2016 demographics or thereabouts. It might be a little bit more, a little bit less, but it'll be around that area. DoorDash brought to you by Boeing. That's when your door gets pounded in at 5 a.m. by the cops. I don't think you want Boeing, DoorDash. I think you want something else. Airbus DoorDash. That would be a bad idea. Yeah, Boeing, yeah, they've got some problems lately. At this point, we're just ranting. And I'm going to look at these guns. 22 mag, Rock Island Armory, Arms Corps International. Let's see. 14 round capacity. That's pretty good. XT22. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I am in the mood to buy a new gun. And the length. Okay. Yeah, that fits the bill. I think I'll get one of those. Thank you very much. SC Woods, from your mouth to God's ear, Trump victory. I believe that he will be victorious. I can't imagine, and if I'm wrong, then, you know, it doesn't even matter. I can't imagine the American people are retarded enough to vote for Kamala Harris. If they are, then I'm just going to say, fuck it, basically. I'm going to mind my own business. I'm going to grow my crops, can up a lot of food, because pretty soon you'll have Soviet bread lines. And to the clankers, at the very least, some of you will gain a little bit of charity if that happens. But I won't be able to feed all of you. There are too many of you, so I'll do the best I can with those fucking potatoes. Lauren Flanagan, I don't think there will be an election. Soon press Brunson case. There will be an election. It's just they're going to try to rig it. They've pretty much already stated that they intend to do so. I think they will be unsuccessful in their ventures. I do not believe that it's possible to rig the election. They don't have enough ballot printers. Trump is running 3-4 points ahead of where he was in 2016, and he won in 2016. Let's see. Why not just parlay with chat? It's fun. Leon, you look salty. Yeah, just like Trump won in 2020. He did. That's just they stole the election. But he was running a good distance behind Joe Biden, admittedly. He's running ahead of Kamala in most of the polls. He never had this advantage in 2020 and almost never in 2016. So don't get blackpilled. BW, unless they already have printed the ballots. Yeah, I'm sure they printed some of them. Tyler, talk about Daryl Cooper. Do you mean DJ Cooper? I'd love to make another video about that. Yeah, DJ Cooper was Dan Cooper. A really interesting story. I don't know if that's what you're referring to. That's the skyjacker from the 1970s. They never found his body or anything like that. It's kind of a creepy story because they did recover some wads of cash later that appear to have been deliberately cached in sand some distance away from where he probably dropped. This means he probably survived. Originally, I had pointed out, I thought that Dan Cooper had died during his jump. And I said, look, he just died, the money washed up, that's it. Then I researched it a little bit more and I said, oh shit. The odds of him having died are actually fairly low, unless somebody found his body, didn't tell anyone, took the money and cashed it. But it was never spent, so that wouldn't make any sense. Oscar Gonzalez, is Zodiac Killer dead? Yes, by now the Zodiac Killer is dead. Either that or he is like 90 and in a fucking nursing home. Yes, Dan Cooper could have been an alias, Bezet. It is entirely possible. We're not 100% sure. The elements of the case are not entirely sure because they failed to gather proper evidence. For instance, they had a number of cigarette butts that this Cooper was smoking on the plane. Now, you'd think, well, we can do DNA investigation. We can try to match that against a database. But they lost the cigarettes. Whoops. Will Gooding, Sticks ever read Black Rednecks and White Liberals by Thomas Sowell? What an incredible read, an instant classic that ranks among such works as F.A. Hayek's Road to Serfdom. No, I've never read it. Actually, haven't heard of it. But Sowell, he's ubiquitous. Everyone knows about him. Sigilstone, the Zodiac Killer is alive. He's Ted Cruz. Yeah, it was actually a little bit odd when Ted Cruz was making a joke about that, by the way. I will say, I mean, I'm all for good humor, including dark humor, but you're literally likening yourself to a serial killer. Yeah, I don't know. David Walk, how many registered voters are there in the U.S.? I'm not exactly sure. You would exclude the insane, generally the incarcerated and people who are minors. I don't know, 200 million or something like that? Maybe 250? Somebody can answer that question. I honestly have no clue. Keep in mind, by the way, everyone, at 1 p.m., I go live with the quartering. So that's in, how many hours? I don't know. An hour-ish, something like that. Yeah, a little bit over an hour. I'll go live with the quartering. On his channel, you should subscribe to him on Rumble, YouTube, and elsewhere. So Twitter. I'm just having fun at this point. Sometime I'm going to do like a 24-hour live stream, and I'm just going to shoot the shit with everyone. I'm not even going to pay attention to like the super chats or something like that. I'm just going to pay attention to general chat. Keep in mind as well, tomorrow we're going to be live reacting to the debate. I think that's at 9 p.m. if I remember correctly. 9 p.m. Eastern. Heritage makes some really nice 22 revolvers. I've already got a 22 revolver. I would like to get a 22 Magnum, though. Something with a little bit more push, you know? Or 22 Hornet. I don't know if they make revolvers in 22 Hornet. The thing is, I only like top loaders. Top break revolvers. I'm not interested in side breaks. Preferably dual action, although not necessary. Durazno Kid. Debate is tomorrow? Kamala will come up with an excuse not to show up. Oh boy, that would not go over well for her. I do not believe that that will happen, though. I think she will show up for the debate. She will be destroyed. The legacy media will come out and say she was stunning and brave and Trump was basically a boorish pig. It's pretty much the script writes itself. It's very, very predictable. Freedom! German flag is under attack in Pixel Planet. Clankers deploy. Yes, if any clankers want to go to Pixel Planet, I mean, you can do that. I've not used it for some months. It is fun. It's just, you know, let me see. Pixelplanet.fun. Are we still intact? I don't even know. Oh yeah, oh shit, we rule pretty much all of Africa other than the Morocco and Tunisia and stuff. Holy shit. Shit. We also rule New Zealand. Goodness, we're easily the largest faction in the entire game. All right, I'm going to put this in chat. If you want to continue the red and yellow pattern there that's in Africa currently, or make some of your own pixel art, you can do that. It is fun on Pixel Planet. Or you can just destroy other people's artwork. I don't recommend it, though, because, you know, we don't want any wars that are unauthorized. And I guess we can repair the German flag, but you mean the Nazi flag or the actual German flag? Yeah. Hitler's flag is under attack in Germany. We must restore the Reich, I suppose, or something like that. Liberals will clip that out and say that that's evidence that I'm actually a Nazi or something along those lines. For some reason, it smells like fruit flies have been in my water. Ugh. Yeah, well, I'll drink it anyway. Ugh. Nazi bastard. Was it public communications you did for Goebbels or community relations? I'm Swiss, Nazi bastard. Or something like that. Exorcist is a good movie, by the way. A little bit messed up sometimes, but really good. By the way, interesting factoid. During The Exorcist, when you have the Jesus fuck you scene, that actually was a real injury by the actress involved. She had been thrown, they had like a pommel sort of system. And the idea was, you know, throw her to the side and they'd record it. She actually fractured her back, and they recorded it anyway because she was actually in pain. So when you see that, she's actually crying out in pain. No, not Linda Blair, the actress that plays Linda Blair's mother. She literally, she had her back. I don't think it was broken, but she got her back, fractured. And they decided to go with that take because it was so great. No, Linda Blair was the kid. And by the way, there's another story about The Exorcist. When Linda Blair was, pushing the cross into her pussy, basically, into a sponge that was filled with red dye, of course. She wasn't actually, fucking herself because she was like 9 or 10 at the time. She didn't even know what the significance of that was at the time. And it's funny because she came back to do Exorcist 2, and it was a rather sexual movie, probably on purpose. It's the mid-70s. But she didn't know at the time and felt herself a little bit used. I think she did a show, actually, back in the 2010s. Linda Blair hosted a show that was about like the paranormal and unexplained and stuff like that. It was actually pretty good. I can't remember the name of it, but it was pretty good. Linda Blair is incredibly talented. I will say that. There aren't many child actors that are that believable. I'm not going to look that up, Titus. Lol, not a cat. Unrelated to any of the topics, but have you edited anything regarding St. Anthony's fire, particular medieval or early modern treatments? Just a sec. Let me listen. Let me think. I have touched on it. It is touched on in some of the herbal works that I've edited, but I can't exactly give you the exact herbal works. But I do know that it was mentioned in a couple of them. Rick James loved Linda Blair? Ah, Rick James. Kitty, my back. Don't get me into the Mad TV role. Kenny and James, yeah. What? I don't know. Sometimes I see the craziest shit in the comments section. I'm not saying that I'm complaining, of course. No, quite the opposite. HR 938. I think that's the one that I have, actually. Just a sec. Yeah, I've already got a Top Break revolver. It's from my grandfather. He gave it to me when he was old. He wanted me to have it. Yeah, it's something like that. It's my favorite gun. It may not have too much kick, but it's fun for plinking. And I got it from my grandfather, and I keep it in perfect condition and everything. I wouldn't give up that gun for 10 grand. I literally wouldn't sell it for 10. Sigil, I saw a recent horror movie clip where Glenn Close tells a black woman, I can smell your nappy pussy. The absolute state of horror these days. All right. Yeah, no, the HR Sportsman revolver is definitely my favorite. Like, I've got a 9, I've got a 380, and then I've got the AR. And I love them all. I love all of my guns. But the 22 is nostalgic because it was given to me by my grandfather. And so I'm never getting rid of that one. No chance of me ever selling it. I wouldn't care if I was going to end up homeless. At the very least, if you're homeless and you get a 22, then you can hunt rats or something like that, you know? Yeah. I'd love to stay online for hours and hours. That would be fun. At some point, though, I've got to go offline because I've got to go live with the quartering. And we'll give it like 5 more minutes or something. SC Woods, oh, get a Webley 455 top break. So very steampunkish. I do want a Webley. Yes, absolutely. The cost, though, is a little bit, the entry level is a little bit prohibitive. 17 George, a 22 can take a deer. Yeah, if you're right next to the deer and you shoot it right in the head, 22 will take it. But at range, you're probably not going to work. You can't even use an AR-15 like chambered in 223/556 to hunt deer in some states. It's illegal because of the risk of you injuring the deer and it not dying. I'd prefer 308. I need to get one of those. Leon, favorite scary movie? Brotherhood of the Wolf is my favorite movie of all time. It's not strictly speaking a horror, but it does have horror elements. You should definitely watch it. I would say my favorite dedicated horror movie, and it's fairly slow paced. It's definitely an aesthetic horror movie, Ninth Gate, by Polanski, actually. Which is funny because I'm no fan of Roman Polanski because he actually was dicking down a 13-year-old in Switzerland and had to flee, actually. Taco Woman, Sandy Ravage, Leslie Nielsen, and Linda Blair in the 1990 spoof film Repossessed. Haven't seen it. I guess I'll have to. It's possible for a person to have real systemic problems while being very talented. Roman Polanski is one of them. Very good at producing movies. Also a fucking pedophile. That's basically him. But if we know anything about Johnny Depp, who starred in Ninth Gate, he ain't no fan of that bullshit. So I don't think Roman Polanski was dicking anyone on scene, so I have a clear conscience watching the movie. Yeah, Ninth Gate is 22 can drop an elephant, just have to hit it in the eye. Yeah, good luck with that one. One Adam, one Roger. Have you seen Trumpy Trout? If not, look it up on YouTube. Trumpy Trout. Let's see. Trumpy Trout. Oh, for the love of fucking God. Is this like a Trump fish fleshlight or something? I don't even want to know. I'm not looking at you. You go ahead and look into it. I'm not looking any deeper into it myself. Not going to happen. That's, Unit 731. What was this about? Trump. If I don't win this election, Israel is doomed. And do you think both parties are controlled by the same people? Yeah, both parties are controlled by the Uniparty. That's for sure. There are so many cute clankers, by the way. Thousands and thousands of them. Psychophantic. You could go for an Enfield, to MK1 revolver. It's a 38 Smith & Wesson, top break, and a little less expensive. I love mine. 38's pretty good. Nothing wrong with that. I don't know. Sometimes I look at people's icons here and I'm like, ooh, yeah. And then I wish I could link directly back to their channels to talk to them, but I can't. It's impossible. People have to DM me on Twitter if they want to perv on me. Isn't that sad? No, that Trumpy Trout, no thank you. That's rather telling. Where did you find that, by the way? One Adam 12 Roger. Barb Feeler, just another cute clanker. Clank! Ooh, probably are. Yes. Let me look up your username, or you can DM me on Twitter. I'm allowed to be horny on main, you know? Playing guitar. Nice. I think people underestimate my libido sometimes. Oh, 38 Smith & Wesson, not 38 Special. Okay. That's, by the way, a good thing to know. You definitely don't want to chamber the wrong round. It's like you can put 223 in a 556, but if it's chambered, for 223 and you put 556 in it, yeah, it may fire. It'll fit. It just might blow the gun up in your face. That'd be a little bit of a problem. XD22. Yeah, it is a nice looking gun. Looks better than a Glock, actually. I think it has a little bit of a larger barrel, too. Oh, no wonder it looks good. It's designed to be like a 1911 pistol, but it's got a 22 Magnum cartridge. A little bit on the expensive side to supply ammo, but other than that, no problems. Lev Polyakov, what's that thumping in the background? Also can't wait for the beef sticks and Cabanassi to come in from Anton's. That's work being done on the excuse me, I'm hiccuping again. Fuck. On the bathroom. Watch as I hold my breath. That should be better. For some reason, I've got the hiccups today. Yeah, this is a 1911 style pistol. I think I'm going to order one to the local gun shop and buy one of these. I prefer revolvers, but yeah, it's pretty good. That would pack a little bit more punch too. Yeah, to Sith 22, yeah, but you don't want to get in trouble. That's the whole point. So it's better to get something that's 5.56, and if you want to do 2.23, that's perfectly fine. I've got 2.23 rounds in one of the 5 mags that I've got. Mainly, though, I've got 5.56 green tip. I've also got some red tips, which is pretty great. Sigil, sorry about the noise, everyone. I'm in Styx's bathroom, and I'm blowing that bastard apart. Oh, God. Wasted is not in my septic system. Alex Ducat. Styx X Namer. Where do pirates get their hooks? Second-hand store. Ha ha ha. Anyways, I do have to let everyone go here. Tony the Greaser. Sup, cats and chicks? Stay greasy. Yeah, I do have to go off here because in 45 minutes, of course, I've got my quartering live stream. I am co-host. Barb, you are cute. Go ahead and DM me on Twitter. There's nothing wrong with that. Every cute chick should DM me on Twitter. Just saying. The Siren, get the Judge revolver. Shoot small shotgun rounds. Yeah, that sounds... I don't really want a hand cannon. Sigil, actually he is. I dumped him in there. Morgan, you're quite cute as well. It's a complicated situation. Look at my username. Do you expect me to be normal? Judge is lame, says SC Woods. I would tell you who I am, but I suspect that some of you have already guessed my name. Anyways, I'm going to go offline now. I've got to go live with the quartering in 45 minutes. Although I have enjoyed this time, I'm going to enjoy tomorrow as well. This is great. That's about all. Peace out.